Gotta click that button. What's up? Good morning. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the weekend. It is Hobby Evolution episode 1218. I did confirm this morning. I went in and checked my numbers, make sure my numbers are accurate today. Got my mushroom coffee. I've been up early. Man, did I want to sleep in? I wanted to sleep in so bad this morning. I'm going to whine because it's what I do. I'm going to complain. Man, I'm too busy. It's hard to believe that in 48 hours, I will be on my way to Switzerland. I have not begun to pack for a 2-week trip that departs in less than, I don't know what time we leave, roughly 48 hours. I know we have to leave Monday morning for the airport. So this is just like timing, man. So this is everything. When it rains, it pours. Of course, we had the Madison Card Show, boom, boom, Club 400, 84 Cubs reunion. I'm gone for 2 days this week. I get a message from my buddy Ethan Roberts on Thursday night. He's like, I'm meeting the team, as in the Chicago Cubs. It's been 2 years since he's pitched in the big leagues after having Tommy John surgery. Finally got back into game action in May, just about a month ago. And he's been lights out at AAA Iowa. So he said, he's like, I'm coming back. I'm not sure if I'm going to be activated. And so is Jorge Lopez. Now, Jorge Lopez was claimed by the Cubs from the New York Mets. Of course, that was in the news that Lopez was like throwing his teammates and all that crap. So Cubs claim him. He's at AAA. I think he has an opt. I think Jorge Lopez had an opt out of like July 1st, which is 2 days away. And the Cubs claimed Vinny Natoli off of waivers, who was released by the Oakland A's. It's like, if the Oakland A's, like, how bad are the Cubs? They're claiming pitchers from Oakland. That's bad. Only thing worse would be claiming pitchers from the White Sox or the Marlins. But the Cubs were on the West Coast playing the Giants in San Francisco. They needed that extra arm. He's there. They didn't have to, pinch their pennies and pay for a flight to California. Flights to California from the Midwest are expensive. So they DFA Vinny Natoli. They add Jorge Lopez to the 40-man, and he's activated. Ethan takes Keegan Thompson's place. Thompson is on he goes on the IL. So when he said, like, I just went and bought tickets. When he said, I'm meeting the team, I went and got a ticket for today's game because I figure, well, he's flying. If he's flying in on Friday, many times they won't. He's activated, but unless it's like an extra inning game, he's probably not going to pitch. So that was my thought process. Plus, I had some things to do last night. So I picked Saturday's game. It's a 3:00 game. I'm like, that's a good time because it gives me some Miller Park, American Family Field. It's only about an hour and a half away. So it's an easy drive, much easier than Wrigley. So it actually worked out pretty well. I ordered a ticket from StubHub, and at first I'm like, I need to be behind home plate. And then it's like, no, I'm seeing my buddy Ethan. Are there any seats by the bullpen? So I look, and the ballpark app didn't have any, but StubHub did. Had one ticket, first row, right behind the Cubs bullpen. Boom, bye. So I'll be behind the Cubs bullpen because I'm there to see my friend. And I don't really want to watch the Cubs right now. I mean, they suck. So I'll be heading over there to Milwaukee a little bit later today. With my Ethan adorning, I'll be wearing my Ethan Roberts Fan Club Obvious shirt. What else is going on? So when it rains, it pours. So I've had these medium flat rate boxes, basically purging my former quarter box, which I've marked down the last, I think the last one show, maybe the last two shows. But my quarter boxes have been marked down to dime boxes at the card shows that I've set up at. So now I am using that inventory and filling up flat rate boxes. You get 1,400 cards for $60, ends up being like 4 cents shipped. Actually, it's like 5 cents, 5.5 cents at full price. Somebody came in and bought, I think they sent me an offer. Well, they ended up buying, well, let me get to the story. So I've been selling them. They've been selling regularly, and they are kind of a pain in the ass because I build them. And if somebody comes in and buys one, I don't want to have like a stack of 10 of the same card. You know, I want there to be some good, because a lot of times when I'm buying bulk, it's like, well, here's 100 Grayson Rodriguez Bowman cards. So I don't want to, you know, I guess it's a reseller lot is kind of what I call it, but I don't want somebody to get a bunch of duplicates if they're, you know, set building. I don't know who the customer is, right? It's, you know, some people will say, well, it's a mystery box. I don't like that term with what I'm doing because it's pretty straightforward. But it is a mystery on what the contents will be. And it's also a mystery on who the buyers are. The buyers could be team collectors. They could be set builders. They could be resellers. I don't know what even if they're resellers, I don't know what they're looking for. So I sold a couple this week, and then I had somebody come in and offer me, I think basically if my floor on them is like around $55 for one single box. If somebody wants to buy like 5 of them, I'll do 50 a piece, which I'm putting the same amount of work, but if you buy 5, you're going to get duplicates. So, that I changed that. That wasn't going to be the case until I had this recent order. So I get the 2, when I come back from Club 400 this week, I get 2 boxes filled, and then I sell 5. I'm like, oh my God, this is a busy week. Now I've got to fill 5 of these. And now I was building these and they were taking some time. So I get 5. I get like 4 of them built, maybe a 5th. The same person who bought 5 bought 8 more. I'm like, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me, which is great. Now he got a deal because let's get the eBay store banner. I do 25% off when you buy 7 or more items, which this includes the medium flat rate boxes. So what's 25% of 60? So that's a pretty damn good deal. So now they're getting duplicates. So if you do take advantage of that sale, you're going to get some duplicates. So I was just going through and, you know, putting those boxes together. So I got 7 of them shipped out yesterday and started building 8 more of them. And I've finished 6 of the 8. So I have 2 more to build today. I was worried that it was going to be, I wouldn't get them built and shipped out in time before I leave because I won't be able to go to the post office Monday. Today's basically my last day to get to the post office to drop off a box. I'm like, I'm going to have to schedule a pickup with USPS. I've never done that before, so I'm going to have to figure that out. But I'm in pretty good shape. So I woke up early this morning. I wanted to sleep in, woke up early and did some shipping, got orders out. And now after Hobby Evolution here this morning, I will put those last 2 boxes together and we'll see. I mean, the way my luck's been going, which is good. I mean, it's good to sell these, but my rec room is a mess because I just keep bringing boxes out, digging through. So I've got shit. I've got so much shit. So I walked in, made my coffee, my mushroom coffee this morning. I'm walking through my rec room and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't started packing yet. I still have to finish 2 of these boxes. I still have like 50 some orders to ship On top of that, I'm going to the game today. My mom and her friend are coming in tomorrow, but they won't be here until tomorrow afternoon. But ideally, I get all of my shipping caught up. And then that way tomorrow I'll just have some small stuff, some small orders. I can get my out of office. And then tomorrow I can really focus on packing. And I do want to do some yard work. It rained again last night. It is raining like crazy here, which is good for my garden. But I wanted to get my mom and her friend want to like sit by the pond. Actually, I'm like, you got to sit by the pond. I'm like encouraging them. So I want to get. It's been raining so much that the weeds it's starting to grow, and we've had so much rain the ponds actually come up. So I've got to do that. So want to try that for tomorrow. So it's been crazy. Yesterday was a crazy day. Got all that done. This is what stresses me out about leaving for a long time. And 2 weeks is a long time, is like getting your affairs in order and like, okay, I've got to get this. I did something I haven't done in probably 15 years. I thought maybe 20, but I'm pretty sure, I know, because 20 years ago would have been 2004. I was still ordering checks 20 years ago. 15 years ago, probably may have been the last time I put an order in for checks. And I was one of the, like, most of my friends were like, why are you sending checks? Like, I was a late adopter to online payments. And I think 15 years ago was probably the last time I ordered checks, but I didn't write that many. Like, I was still writing up until probably my wife and I started dating, which would have been 10 years ago. I think I was still writing checks to pay my cell phone bill and that stuff, like up until like 2014. And then my wife was like, you need to do online. And so I kind of converted. And then now with like, once we moved in together, like she took care of, she handles the finances because sometimes I forget. She doesn't. So she is the financier. I've been in business. So 1 Million Cubs LLC has been in business since October of 2021. And so they're like, do you want to order checks? And I'm like, no. They're like, well, we'll get you started with some starter checks and then you can order them whenever. So October 2021 to June 2024 that's how long it took me to go through my starter, like all 3 starter checks. It's like I write 1 check a year, and I have to write a check. I have to send a check because most everything you can do, like bill pay, online bill pay, all that stuff, credit card for, inventory or cash. Usually most of my inventory is sourced with cash, unless it's, product, sealed product from Topps or Blowout. So no need for checking. You're not going to go on Facebook Marketplace and somebody's not going to accept a check from you, even if it's a business check. So, but I have to pay the IRS and I have to write a check. I'm like, can't I just pay this online? It's like, apparently not. So I'm like, well, I wrote the last check I wrote was last summer, was probably this time last summer. The movers, remember the movers? I paid with a check. I didn't have that much cash on me. It was a lot of money to move 3 million baseball cards. So I did write a check. So that was the last time, and that was my last check. So I had to go to the bank. And I actually do, when I do deposits, when I do cash deposits, I actually walk inside the bank. So I went in, and it's this damn address thing. This address thing. I'm going to get on an address change soapbox. I have never. Now, it's a lot different because I've moved. How many times have I moved? I've moved from my growing up house to my first apartment in Macomb. And then I moved to another apartment, and then a house, and then an apartment. And then I bought a house. And then I moved to an apartment in Madison. And then I sold the Macomb house. And then my wife and I moved into a house that we rented. And then we built a house. And then now this house. This is the 10th move. And I've never had so many issues with an address change. Now, it's a lot different. This is the first time I've had a business registered to a physical address. And that's why it's like more and more I want to open an office space, just an office space, so I don't have to deal with my home address being. Now, we don't plan on moving from this house. So won't have to do that again. But I don't want my home address being my registered business address. And there's other perks. BCW will actually ship me items to a commercial address, an office address, not a residential. So all that stuff. But anyway, so the bank, I'm ordering checks, and I just go to because I had a cash deposit, and then I'm like, oh, also, can I order checks? And they're like, yeah, I can help you with that. And I'm like, can I also get starter checks? Because I got to get a check right now before I leave. Sure, yeah, I can help you with that. And she's like, address still Verona, Wisconsin? I'm like, oh, no, actually moved. Now, this is going to be a pain, and I don't know if you know the answer to this, but eBay gives me a hell of a time with my address. So I think my business should be updated to my new address, but I don't know. And she's like, oh, okay. So she's like, well, it's not letting me change the address. I'm like, of course it's not. She's like, you'll have to talk to a banker. So I go to the banker, and he can do it. And I'm like, so is this like, am I gonna have to do all this paperwork? No, she said, I'm just not authorized to do address change. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. All right, so we got everything changed. So everything's good to go. I'm sitting at a stoplight, still pissed off about fucking addresses. My email comes across. Remember that Jason Dominguez anime card that I pulled out of Bowman? Because I forgot about it. Now I remember. So basically, if you didn't remember, I pulled a Jason Dominguez anime out of Bowman. Of course, on release week, it's a $300 card. Gets sent to authentication. Buyer gets it. A week later, the prices drop. I offer returns. The asshole buyer wants to open a return because he changed his mind. Well, do you know why he changed his mind? Because it's not worth $300 anymore, you fucking prick. So he returned it. It goes back to authentication, and then authentication sends it to me. And I'm thinking, after a couple weeks, I'm like, I think Mikey actually was asking about this card. And I'm like, I haven't got this card back. I get an email. It was shipped, or I checked the tracking. It was shipped to my old address. Of course it was. Because eBay won't allow me to update my address. It's still going to my Verona address. Son of a bitch. So I reach out, So eBay says, well, it was sent back to your registered address on file. And I'm like, I know, because eBay won't let me change it. So they did admit fault. However, it was sent back to the authentication center. So they had reached out, and I'm like, yep, send it back. Everything's changed. Everything's updated in my file. You can now send it back to me. Still, nothing. And then I do remember a couple of weeks ago, they sent me a message that I have to now get a label. I have to buy a label off one of the websites. I can't do it off eBay. I have to do it. So I went through Pirate Ship. You have to go to USPS or whatever and then upload the fucking label. The address changes are making me drop F-bombs this morning. So as I'm sitting at the stoplight yesterday, still pissed off about the address change, I get the eBay message. This is your final notice. I'm like, fuck. So this morning, I just uploaded, and they said it. They said, here are the dimensions you need. Now, this is one single card, and I know how they ship them. 2 pounds. I'm like, oh no, fuck that. This is not a 2-pound package. It's a 6-ounce package. So hopefully they'll accept it. Here's my fear. My fear is me trying to save a couple bucks on postage. My fear is they're going to be like, oh, this isn't a 2-pound label. You're going to have to print a new one out. And this goddamn Jason Dominguez card is going to end up costing me $500. So I uploaded that. We'll see. So the Jason Dominguez anime card. So that'll be a nice, I forgot all about it. So that'll be a nice little surprise when I get back from Europe in a couple of weeks. All right, off my soapbox. I went to the LCS yesterday. So the Milwaukee Brewers reached out to me, which go Cubs today, go Brewers on Tuesday, July 9th. The Brewers reached out to me earlier this week. They said, hey, would you like to partner with Trading Card Night? And this is, by the way, this is through Madison Card Show, not 1 Million Cubs, just to be clear. No, they were not reaching out to a Cubs guy to promote their stuff. So they reached out to Madison Card Show. Hey, would you like to partner with Trading Card Night? It's Tuesday, July 9th. So it was hardly any details. I'm like, that's really good exposure for the Madison Card Show. So I'm thinking, yeah, I would like to do this. Let's just see what it all entails. I don't want to pay money. So I'm like, sure, I'm interested. What, give me some deets. So they said, we'd like you to promote the show. And in exchange, we'll give you 20 tickets to the game. And I'm like, you know what? 20 tickets doesn't move the needle to me. I want some type of exposure. I don't want to just promote the show and like, oh, here's 20 tickets to give to your friends. I can't even go to the game. Even if I could go to the game, the ticket part of this trade-off does not interest me. So I said, okay, thanks. Am I going to have any exposure from your end? Is there going to be, can I get signage? Any mentions? So then they got back with more details, and they're like, we can offer you 2 tables at the pregame card show, and then we'll engage with your social media posts. I'm like, okay, so that's a little, that's a good give and take. I like that. So before I agreed, I needed somebody to take those tables. I won't be there. So I reached out to my buddy Brad Richards, who runs Bonsai Cards and Collectibles in DeForest. Just opened that DeForest store a few months ago. They had their grand opening, I think, in April. So I reached out to Brad, perfect representer, Madison Card Show, plus his own shop. It helps him, helps me, and helps him. So I'm like, hey. So he's like, yeah, that would be totally awesome. I'm like, all right. So I'm gonna create some new signage. So I'll bring you signage to take and business cards and all that for the Madison Card Show. So my marketing director, my wife, she's my graphic designer, I should say. My graphic designer wife, she's very good with that stuff. So she made up a poster, and then I just had it printed at Walgreens. Walgreens printing is so freaking awesome. I love it. So I picked the poster up yesterday, clipped it to foam board, and took the signage, business cards up to DeForest to the LCS yesterday. So shout out to Bonsai Cards and Collectibles. They will be representing their shop and the Madison Card Show at the pregame card show. Did get some more details. Tuesday, July 9th at American Family Field. The Brewers take on the Pirates. Gates open at 5:40. So with your ticket, you get into the card show. The card show's inside the stadium. That's Tuesday, July 9th. Gates open 5:40. Card show runs from gate open until the end of the second inning. So it's going to be about a 2-hour show before the game. 20 tables, and it's by dealers are by invite only. I did hear a rumor that slab stocks will be there. So I think it's going to be a lot of like, I don't know. I told Brad, I'm like, take some pictures. I really want to see. I'm curious what they're going to do. And I'd like to be, more involved in the future because I think this is a pretty cool opportunity for a lot of people and the Brewers organization as well. So Tuesday, July 9th, Brewers, Pirates. So I think that's what I had. We'll go into the chat. Happy Saturday. Where are we at? So good morning. How come it's not showing? There we go. Good morning, Donald. Mikey's in the house. Good morning. Me and my girlfriend heading to Dave & Buster's. Have fun. So what's your go-to game at Dave & Buster's? So I'm a Pop-A-Shot guy through and through. That's the reason I go to Sluggers before Cubs games. It's so I can go to the back bar and play Pop-A-Shot. Pop-A-Shot is my jam. Dave & Buster's also has like the football toss game, like where you and you hit targets for points. We have a Dave & Buster's like just down the road from me, like 5 minutes away. I've been once, maybe twice. So I need to go back. I need to call some friends and be like, let's go to Dave & Buster's and play some Pop-A-Shot. Kyle, good morning. He called it. Bo's going to the game involves Ethan. Ethan is back with the Cubs. Ethan and Jorge Lopez did get into the game last night. And now it kind of makes sense with Jorge Lopez getting into the game because he had an opt-out for July 1st. Now, if he's on the big league roster, if he's on the active roster, probably not going to opt out, but it's one of those things where do the Cubs know, okay, is he somebody we're going to keep? We want to get work. We want him to work and see, okay, he fits our plan. Ethan fits their plan. Young guy. His opt-out date already passed. They added him to the 40-man, and he stuck around. So, yes, sad news. Orlando Cepeda has passed away. So, it seems like they come in threes. We lost Willie Mays, now Orlando Cepeda. Mikey says it's literally downpouring right now. Must be what we had last night. We had some strong, about 10 o'clock last night is when we had the storms roll through. Sheena's here. What's up? Good morning. DuPage County show today. Yes, had to miss it. I was starting to think over the last few weeks, I'm like, well, I don't have anything going on the weekend before I leave. I could probably do the show. Thank God I did not plan on going to the DuPage County show today. So that's in Wheaton, Illinois. Orlando's in the house. Good morning. Johnny V is here. Cepeda will have 30 pages of 58 tops for bid now. I did sell. It was kind of weird. I sold a few Cepeda cards overnight. One was a 99-cent card. Allen and Ginter, 99-cent Orlando Cepeda. And then the person who bought it wanted to cancel it right away. It was really weird. So I'm guessing they just wanted to buy feedback because they bought it, paid for it, canceled. Orlando says, I'm glad I purchased the Cepeda autograph rookie card at last year's National. Wow, nice pickup. Johnny V says, Cepeda was like Bob Feller. He signed a lot. Yeah, Bob Feller, Pete Rose, Fergie Jenkins, Stan Musial. Mikey says, what cards are included in your sale? So in the medium flat rate box, they're basically dime box cards, quarter box cards, dime box cards. So it's been picked over. It's quarter box cards that have been picked over. My quarter box, when they're freshly filled, they're really good, but then they get cherry picked. And then after a few shows, and they still sell, depends on what people are looking for. I'm still surprised as I go through boxes, like what's still left in there. And then they go to, and then I mark them down to dime boxes, and that's what's going to be filled up. I will say I think you bought one of my flat rate boxes from one of my YouTube sales. These boxes are not as good as those. Those were much better boxes than what these boxes are. So I will say that. Mikey's going to order from me while I'm in Europe. Thank you. Dan, what's going on? James, what's happening? I bet James is probably already, well, I don't think doors open. I don't think they let early birds in at the DuPage County show. I think VIP starts at 9. So James is probably sitting in his car in the parking lot, waiting for the doors to open at the DuPage show right now. I have a $125 lot that shipped from Illinois to Puerto Rico to New York. I've heard a lot more stories about this happening here lately. Knock on wood, I haven't had many issues. I always have issues just due to the volume I do. But I haven't had many issues with this. A lot of the issues I'll get messages. This was delivered, but it's not in my mailbox. I looked everywhere. Just wait a few days and then give that spiel. Next day or 2 days later, oh, it showed up. See, I told you. Jody, good morning. No, I have not. I don't even have the Dominguez. It's still at the eBay authentication center. Hopefully it gets shipped. Hopefully my label will work and they'll ship it to me on Monday and I'll have it when I return. Zach and Porter in the house. Good morning. I bought a card from you before your trip. I'd like proof of postmark before wheels go up to Swiss Miss. They will. Anything ordered this weekend will ship out. Anything ordered this afternoon through Sunday afternoon will ship out Monday. I'll just have to drop it in the blue box. Anything ordered tomorrow night I'll put my out of office. I'll probably kick my out of office in around 5 or 6 p.m. tomorrow. That way I've got a clean slate and I don't have to, I got another sale. I got to go downstairs and ship because that will happen. Cooter, good morning. The last show at AmFam was higher end, different promoter, but sounds the same. Was the last show during a game also? I don't remember. I know that there were game or shows at the stadium, but I don't know if it coincided with an actual game or trading card night. Bronco is here. What's up? Later this summer, I will make a trip out to Madtown to challenge you to game day at Dave & Buster's. I am down for that. I am down. Where are we at? Mikey says, my favorite game is Deal or No Deal. I don't think I know that game. It's very funny. Like, I am a creature of habit when it comes to games. But like when it comes to food, like, okay, let's just, because they serve food at Dave & Buster's. I go to Dave & Buster's 5 times. I will play Pop-A-Shot 5 times. I will play the football toss 5 times. And that's probably it. And those 5 times I go to Dave & Buster's, I will eat something different each time. So I'm a creature of habit in certain things, but not others. Food, I'm more adventurous. Gaming, I want to play the same stuff. One of my friends has an arcade game, one of those like arcade mods or whatever, where like every arcade game ever can be played on this arcade. And I play the same 2 games every single time. Street Fighter 2 and NBA Jam. Only 2 games I ever play. Out of 1,000 games or more, I play those 2 games. Juan Marichal should be worried. And funny you mentioned that. I've actually sold a few Juan Marichal cards in the last couple days. I think I shipped out 2 Juan Marichal cards this morning. Kyle says, sad news about Orlando Cepeda. I have a card on my table. I was going to send him TTM. There, I knew it. James is in the parking lot waiting. I knew it. Dave's here. My last 10 buys have been delayed. USPS really sucks. I was 18 days before I received. Holy shit. I don't think, and I actually have I don't even open my mail. So I've ordered a bunch of Series 2. Oh, this actually came from Mike O. Haven't even opened these yet. They came pretty fast though, because this was postmarked June 18th, and I've had it for a few days, if not longer. So little mail day show and tell. Now it's not really. Oh, look at this! How about that? Yeah. How about that? Thank you, Mike O. Very cool. So this is what I ordered from Mike O. The Luke Little gold foil. Now, I'm not trying to get like the rainbow, but I am collecting like, the gold foil, the rainbow foil, the yellow, the blue. I think I did get a Father's Day at auction. I think I had to pay like $10 for that. Where are we at? What's this card? So I think most of these are Luke Little cards. Luke Little, awesome dude, awesome family, friends with his mom and dad. Met them a few years ago at spring training. We keep in touch. I don't have my mail cutter. Oh, so here's the yellow. Luke Little yellow. All right, so that's junk. Oh, here's another one. Oop, a lot of tape on this one. How am I going to dig into? This one might require scissors. Oh, wait. Think we got it. There we go. Some people like track how people ship, like PWE. It all works the same. Like all of these cards got to me no differently than any other way. This one, in fact, the yellow was shipped just in a sleeve inside this. But this, to me, it's like I would rather spend the 4 to 6 cents on a card saver than to take the time and do a custom fit box topper, and you got to have all of these thin cardboard pieces. Mike O is pretty much the way I ship. I don't use blue painter's tape. But it's like, here's another one. This is also card saver blue painter's tape. That's the royal blue parallel. All right, what else? That's a return to sender. Oh, here's another one. Yeah, these are all pretty much shipped the same way I do. The hell is this? This is a card I sold. Oh, shit. I didn't ship. I bet this got mixed up. Well, that one has to go back out. Sorry, Joe, in Connecticut. All right. I'm like, I looked at I bet it got mixed up on my car seat or wherever I had the, like, hey, this guy ships his the exact same way I do. Oh, because I shipped that. So here's another. This is shipped in some plastic. It's not a team bag. Inside cardboard. Oh, this is my Rachel Folden Women in Baseball card. And I think those are, I think the Father's Day. Oh, no, a couple more. This is from Ocean Cards. Thank you. Ocean Cards and Collectibles. All right. And I think I ordered 2 cards from him. I ordered the Oh, so this is like the summertime. Damn it, slippery. Summertime and the blue foil numbered to $9.99. So nice little addition of Luke Little cards. And then I've got I think I've got a Father's Day powder blue in transit. All right, where are we at? Let's see. 608 Cody's here. Good morning. For my dog walk, what seats did you get hooked up with? So I bought a ticket before Ethan offered. So I'm like, well, I don't need a ticket now, but like the player tickets, it would be like behind home plate and like in some random section for friends and family. At least that's where it is at Wrigley. So I picked my seat first row right behind the bullpen. So I'll get to see Luke and Ethan. Mikey says, Deal or No Deal is with Howie Mandel opening a bunch of cases. Oh, I remember. Meghan Markle was a suitcase girl on that show. I remember. That's an old show. Jordan, what's going on? He says, wait, Dave & Buster's has food? Yeah, Dave & Buster's has food. I think Mikey says, yeah, it's overpriced. You'd be better off eating dinner somewhere else and then going to Dave & Buster's to play games. They have food and it's super expensive. Yeah, it's overpriced. And it's like just your run-of-the-mill, like every other chain restaurant food. Cooter says, do you consider Lou Brock a Cubs Hall of Famer? Absolutely not. No. Lou Brock is a Cardinals Hall of Famer. Asking for a friend. Lou Brock is a Cardinals Hall of Famer who played for the Cubs. Fred McGriff. What is Fred McGriff? Would he be a Blue Jays or a Brave? I don't even know what he is in the Hall of Fame. Lou Brock is a Cardinals Hall of Famer that played for the Cubs. I do not think of, when I think of Lou Brock, I don't think of him playing for I don't picture Lou Brock as a Cub. Even though he played 2.5 seasons, no, he's a Cardinals Hall of Famer. Zach says, according to Immaculate Grid, Brock is so, yes. Zach says, no, it was a Sunday off day. Okay. Dave says, one of my packages went out, made it out shipping place, and then went back to him before it came back 18 days. Cooter says, please learn how to pronounce Marischal. Marischal? Owl, not all. Marischal? Juan Marischal? I've never heard it pronounced Marischal. I just won't say his name. We'll call him Juan. Juan M. Mikey likes to watch the pretty models opening cases on Deal or No Deal. Herman's on the road home. Good morning. Johnny M says, good morning. Bulk listing on Buy Sports Cards is fast and simple. 30 seconds per card with picks. Wish eBay would hurry with their bulk listing tool. I do Juan Marischal. Okay, Juan Marischal. That sounds better. Juan Marischal. Card Dealer Pro actually fat 30 seconds per card with picks. I'm trying to think of like all in time, like on a per listing basis. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty fast. I would say it's probably faster than that, depending on what it is. And I don't know. I've never used Buy Sports Cards. I am getting to the point with my inventory that I really need to consider the next step. eBay is certainly going to be my bread and butter and my main, but I have so much inventory. And I think if I do take that next step, whether it's using a second platform using my own website. I have what do you call? I pay for it. I don't use it on 1millioncubs.com. I can sell stuff on my website, and I have, but that takes a lot of time. And it's like if you have an existing platform where you can just plug and play. So those are some of the things. There was somebody on the Blowout forums was selling their website. I think it's buyfootballcards.com or something like that. And I looked at their website, and it's let me show you. He's selling his website, and I think the inventory that goes with it. I am not interested because I don't really do football, but I was interested in the footballcardshop.com. Let me show you. So this is his website. And like I'm very intrigued. I'm like, this is, it's simple. Like, is it flashy and fancy? Absolutely not. But it looks, I mean, it doesn't look ultra modern in terms of websites, but it looks very navigable. You've got home, like player, you can search. Okay, we want to look up who's a hot rookie. I don't think those, well, I guess those are the most recent rookies. We want to look up Tom Brady. You go to Tom Brady, little bio. And here's all the cards. You've got the year, the set. The only thing I don't like is these aren't, you can't just double click. Team, so it's New England, number, price, add to cart. I mean, so much easier, so much navigable than Sport Lots. And I haven't bet on buysportcards.com lately, but this is really cool. It's too bad it's footballcardshop.com and not baseballcardshop.com. So you can search by player. Because if this was baseballcardshop.com, I would be like, hey, what do you want for your website? Like, what's your price? And I don't know if he actually. Let me look at the post. And I think it was moved. I saw it in the eBay, but it must have been moved. I'm sure it was moved to the. He just said PM me. So basically his post says, any interest, website with full inventory for sale after 20 plus years. And because of time commitments of my regular job and other projects, I'm looking to sell my website and inventory that I've had as a side gig. It is a football card specific site, which has had thousands of customers, footballcardshop.com. You can find information in the following Google Doc. If you have questions, please send a PM and I'll get back to you. If you know anyone that might be interested, a referral fee is available. So, if you reach out, his name's Ruben. If you reach out to him, tell him that you heard from me. Maybe I'll get a referral fee. By player, you can search by set. Say, I'm looking at 2023 Donruss. Like, this is so much smoother than Sport Lots. Now, it's a little pricier. You're going to pay 35 cents for an Isaiah Simmons where you'd pay 20 cents on Sport Lots. But I think, that savings is better. By college. This is unique because there are a lot of college-specific buyers. Like, well, we're going to look at USC. Look at that. USC, you've got the logo. Like, here's Jack Del Rio. Only 2 Jack Del Rios in the inventory. We want to search by team. Where's my Chicago Bears? Chicago Bears. And look at that. Look at all these players. I want to find Rashaan Salam. Where's Rashaan Salam? How many Rashaan Salam? Not too many Rashaan Salam cards in the inventory. I'm surprised by that. Team sets. You can buy team sets. Where's the Chicago Bears? Few Chicago 2013 Bowman. There's only 2 cards in there for 75 cents. So this is a really nice site. I'm surprised I had never heard of it before. Actually, I'm not surprised because I'm not a football card guy. So if that was a baseball card website, my God, I almost want to reach out and be like, hey, I want to replicate your site. Can you or whoever built your site? I wonder if it's at the bottom of the page. Who built this site? Nextmark. I'm gonna Google it because I love this. I love this site. I wonder how much it costs to build this out. Let's see. Marketing growing firm. Interesting. So I actually may send this guy a PM because I really like that. I don't know if I want to drop thousands of dollars and I mean, just the organization. I mean, I really like my eBay model and how everything's sorted for me in there. But there you go. Let's see. Herman says, I'm pretty sure McGriff went in as a Blue Jay. I think somebody else came in. Oh, Dat Dude from Duryea says McGriff has no hat logo in the Hall of Fame. All right, so I want to keep those tabs up. Now I got so many tabs open now. Okay, so Fred McGriff. All right. And I guess, so before I look at the numbers, when I think of Fred McGriff, I immediately think Blue Jays and Braves. Now, I could be clouded because of the junk wax era. So McGriff came up 86 Donruss rated rookie. I think he was with Toronto into 90, 91, just based on baseball card memory. And then the Braves, those are the teams I remember him from. Of course, he played for the Cubs for a year or two, played for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. So let's look up old Fred McGriff and let's see what the numbers say. So he played, wow. Whoa. I was right 2/3. Did you know Fred McGriff played the same amount of seasons for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays than he did with the Toronto Blue Jays and Atlanta Braves? He played 5 seasons with each of those 3 teams. I'm mind blown by that. He played in the game, the amount of games is like right up. So he played the most games. He was an Atlanta Brave, 5 seasons, 636 games. He was a Toronto Blue Jay, 5 seasons, 578 games. He was a Tampa Bay Devil Ray, 5 seasons, 577 games, one less than Toronto. And then he played 3 years in San Diego, 2 in Chicago with the Cubs, and 1 year as a Dodger. Wow. No wonder he doesn't have a hat. That's amazing. Now, you look at the accolades and, his Tampa Bay years in terms of awards, all of his accolades came with Atlanta and Toronto. So he was, MVP voting, top 10 in the MVP voting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And 6 times, 1, 2 with the Braves, 1 with the Padres, and 3 with the Blue Jays. He was a Silver Slugger twice. Once with the Padres, once with the Blue Jays. He wasn't an all-star that much. Fred McGriff was only a 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, did I miscount? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5-time all-star. Tampa in 2000, Atlanta in 96, Atlanta 95, Atlanta 94, San Diego in 92. That was kind of a lost season. San Diego in 1992. Where are we at? Red Light 34 says, what site we on? So that was footballcardshop.com. Footballcardshop.com. Good morning to you, Red Light 34. Merle says, I see Cardi the Pro says their card recognize Garbage Pail Kids. I got a stack of refractors that I'm going to try adding to my store. Hey, yeah, now that you mention that, I have a stack of Garbage Pail Kids that I've got. Yes, Cardi the Pro did add some non-sports. Not every non-sport card in existence, but certain ones. I think some Marvel, Star Wars, Star Trek, Garbage Pail Kids, and a few other random non-sport cards. Dan says, thus far, I've accounted for 37 auto cards in 2024 Archives Signature Series for Mark Burley. That seems like a lot. Herman says, I remember they gave him the option and he decided not to choose. Zach says he should have went in with the generic hat from his instructional hitting video. Tom Amansky. Yes. Tom Amansky. How about that? All righty. So that's what I had for today. I do want to share my eBay sales, and I wrote this in the description, May of 2024 was my highest sales month by dollars of all time on eBay. May of 2020, last month. June is going to beat May, despite the first week to 10 days being really low. Now you can say, well, you got that great vintage haul. Yes. But remember, sales are sales. People are buying. It doesn't matter. You look at your sales. If you're not adding what people are buying, you're not going to sell stuff. And it's not because the market's down. It's because you just don't have the right inventory. If you're basketball centric, right now is probably a pretty bad time to be selling basketball. Football is starting to, football, we're starting to see a lot more sales in football now. Baseball's pretty steady. Usually we see kind of a October, November, December lull, and then it starts to pick up. But what I want to try to get across, which I'm not being very concise, is that people are buying cards. While overall numbers may be down, I don't know what they are, but could be down. You got to find what's selling, and you can use Terapeak. You can use your own. Like look at what I've been selling the last 2 weeks. What have a lot of my sales been? Vintage. Orlando says the vintage made it successful. It did. And what am I going to do? Not only do I focus on what's selling, but I focus on what's not selling and what's moving fast and what's liquid and what's a slow burn. Bowman. I love Bowman. I have Bowman coming out of my ears. I will still pick up Bowman because it usually moves, but I don't want to spend a lot of money on it because it's such a slow sell unless it's loaded up with, when I bought my paper, like 11 cases, 12 cases of paper from 2022 Bowman draft, it still had, no cherry picking. I made all of my money back and doubled my money just on the Jackson holidays at the time. So that's a slow burn. What I love about First Bowman's, is it's a slow burn, but there's always somebody popping up. I'm starting to move James Wood. He's going to get called up this week. Monday, I think. He's going to debut with the Nationals. So I keep a close eye on what's not selling as much as I do of what is selling. Now, having realized how liquid vintage was, I was always under the impression that vintage is kind of a slow sell. But my personal experience with vintage was mainly either beat up stars or commons, which are a slow burn, slow sell. Now, they do sell, but not very liquid. You put up some Carl Yastrzemskis and Juan Marichals, those are going to move. So people are still buying cards. If your sales are down, look within what's moving and what's not moving. If the bulk you're listing is not selling, stop listing that and focus on what is selling. Let's see. Orlando, this is a great question. So typically I do not track my sales. However, I'm going to have 8 hours of airplane time. So before I leave, so tomorrow night, I'm going to download my last 3 months of sales on eBay. And I'm going to take the time on the plane to kind of decipher the spreadsheet, what's been moving. I'm going to track the estate sales because I'm interested. I've got the time. It's not when I'm sitting at home, like when there's a time to lean, there's a time to clean. I've got listing and shipping to do all the time. When I'm on an airplane, I have time to not ship and not list. So I can focus on some of these tasks that normally I don't care. I just look at the bottom line, end of each month. Here's what I spent. Here's what I made. That's how I handle it. But I am curious what my sales have been the last 2 weeks with all of this vintage, because I know I've already made a profit. Easy profit. I may be in the doubling my money already. So yes, I will be tracking my estate sales when I'm on my flight. So I am curious to see. I also want to run numbers on my cases. It's been a few months for all my case breaks. Top. So actually, I'm going to have to go back further than 3 months. Topps Series 1, Topps Heritage, and Topps Big League, just to see, okay, here are my sales from these. Am I going to do this again next year? Series 1, yes, I will. Big League is probably a no. Heritage, I'm leaning no. Next year is 76, I think, which is one of my least favorite designs of all time. So, and I don't think, and it doesn't matter what I think of the design. It's what everybody else thinks. And typically it's one of the least favorites. So I think that will lead to less people being interested. But if the numbers were there for Heritage, which I don't think they were, I would do it despite whatever design they use. Zach says, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I never said that. Vintage has a large and more established customer base that buys through all cycles of the market. And that's a great point. So in the off season, when baseball sales are down for modern stuff, I am listing the retired players and the Hall of Famers. Through fourth quarter, I am kind of going heavy on listing, junk wax stars, Ken Griffey Jr., your vintage guys, because those sell throughout the year. But there's no new products coming out. Well, there are new products, but it's not as top of mind. Prospect sales are really slow during the fourth quarter. So that is a Q4 focus. Travis says, did you get your vintage hits sent off for grading? I did. And I potentially may send off some more. So I submitted the Peyton rookie, the Dr. J rookie, one of the George Brett rookies, the 74 Topps Nolan Ryan, and the Justin Verlander blue refractor from his second year Topps. So those 5 cards, and I think I'm sending the my group subber did they have a service where they clean the card. They don't use the stuff. Don't go down that rabbit hole. They microfiber cloth. So it's a wipe down, I should say. It's not cleaned, it's wiped down. So they do a wipe down and inspect it, and then kind of give you, all right, I think this is going to get, this grade. So my advice was suggested that I go SGC with that card because it may get a low grade with PSA. So I sent the Verlander to SGC, the other 4 off to PSA. The other 4, the vintage cards, I did send off on the faster service. So hopefully I'll get those back in August. So I'm like itching to know what some of those get. Like the Brett, I know is probably going to be a lower grade. The Dr. J is probably going to be a 2 or a 3, but it's that Peyton that I'm really, really curious about. Dan wants to know if I'm going live tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow will be my last day going live until I return. Bronco says you should try to acquire more of the cards that are selling at a low price. Cooter says, in my opinion, Topps Chrome Anniversary will replace Heritage in popularity as Heritage is approaching the end of the vintage era. The current 54 design is awesome. I never thought about that. That's a good point. I never thought about that potential because, I think now the excitement for me is kind of over for Heritage. And I think for most Heritage collectors, it's kind of over. Like it was 50s and 60s. Once you got into the 70s, I was excited for the 70s. But then once it was released, it was like, okay. Yeah. And now we're getting into the second half of the 70s. And now I have I have no excitement for Topps Heritage anymore. I love the 78 design, but it's been used. And I think we've also seen a lot of these designs used in Topps Archives, which I still love Topps Archives. I wish Topps Archives would go to like using football designs and basketball designs and non-sport designs. That would be awesome. Dan says, I wish Burley was in 23 Chrome Platinum Anniversary and not 22. I really like the 23 design a lot more. Herman says 72 was my cutoff. Yeah, I was excited for 72. I didn't care about 70 or 71. I was excited for 72. 73 and 74 were I like those designs, but I don't love them like 72 and 75. Really excited for 75, and then 75 just didn't really do it for me this year. And 76 next year is just going to be dull, is what it is. Alrighty, so I've got some work to do. I'm going to go fill some boxes. Hobby Evolution, this is Hobby Evolution. Hobby Hotline is coming up later this morning at, I think, 10, right? 10 a.m. Central. So I'm going to put some boxes together, finish those last two, make a post office run, and then head to Milwaukee to catch the Cubs and Brewers at American Family Field. Go Cubs. I will go live tomorrow morning. I probably will sleep in. The goal tomorrow is to sleep in, depending on how much sales come through today on eBay. If a lot of sales come through, I'll be waking up early, and we'll be going on at like 7 tomorrow. But plan is for around 8 o'clock start time, which I guess we started around 8 o'clock this morning, but I did a lot of shipping this morning. Anyway, have a great Saturday. Have a great weekend if you're not in tomorrow. Have a great July if I don't see you until I return. Again, I will go live tomorrow morning, and then no Hobby Evolution until probably July 15th. Let's call it July 15th. All righty. So hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Visit my eBay store. If you get those orders in today or even tomorrow morning, they will get shipped out before I leave. So hit it up, 99centcards.com. 25% off when you buy 7 or more at regular price from 99centcards.com. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you tomorrow morning.